Next point, it is making a socialist society in Russia. Wow, they are planning to how the socialist society it is creating or how it made. During the Civil War time, the Bolshevik kept industries and the banks nationalized. All the industries it was made under the control of government as well as banks. In the time of Indira Gandhi also we can see in India many banks we made nationalized, many companies we made nationalized. Means the way we got the influence of Russian Revolution or Russian Bolshevik party, and we also done here in India. Not only India, many countries done the same. And they permitted peasants to cultivate the land. And had been socialized Bolshevik used to confiscated land to demonstrate what collective work could be. How they want to do the collective work, that like that demonstration the people they got. At the same time the land was given in the hands of peasants, and that land what they want to cultivate that they can't cultivate, what government says that they want to cultivate. And process of centralized planning was started. Means we can see the 5-year plans, starting of 5-year plans, and we also followed this just after first independence, that time 1951 onwards. Here in India also we started 5-year plans, and in 5 year we are what the government is doing, they are making the centralized planning for the development of the country. And government they are fixing all the prices to promote the industrial growth during the first 2 5-year plans. In first plans what they done, the government fixed the price of the products. And next one we can see that first plan means 1927 to 32, then 1933 to 1938, like that. In 2 plans they was giving maximum importance to industry. Then centralized planning led to the economical growth. In that 2 plan they planned very well, and that's why we can see the faster development of economy, especially in Russia. When we started here in India also we have seen that one. And industrial production it is increased between 2029 to 33 by 100%. Means 100% of growth they enjoy. That's why they still afterwards they continued that one. New factory cities came to be. The factories and nearby factory cities it is developed. And however the rapid construction led to the poor working conditions, because the industry it is developing faster 100%. So the working condition of the people it is become very poor. The city of the Magnetos, the construction of the steel plant was achieved within 3 years. Within 3 years they completed one steel plant company, and that is very hard metal that they want to smelt and other things. Purification methods process also very much, and that much faster they was developing the factories and other things because of this 5-year plans. And we can see the workers lived hard lives because they want to work maximum. The result was 550 stoppage of the work in 1 year itself. 365 days in between, 550 times they stopped their work for maybe because of living condition or water condition or working condition, like the different reasons because of that. And for they want to work below 40 degree, means in the winter season also people want to work in the same way. And the toilets and the construction of the building, that the quality it become low, so the people suffered a lot. Then extending the school system developed. Because of this 5-year plan they started to think not only the work system, we want to think about the school system also. Then arrangements were made for the factory workers and peasants to enter universities. Not only the students, children, the factory workers as well as peasants also can go and study there. And creches made for the establishment of the children of the women workers in the factory. Many women workers was there, and for their purpose, to well-being of that people's purpose, they started creche to keep their children. Then cheap public health, because everything owned by government, so they want to give the cheap public health and care provided. And model living quarters were set up. Slowly they started to make model living quarters to the workers. And effect of all this was uneven through, even though they made everything, but it was not in equal ways. There was little bit up and downs. Then the government resources were limited. The things, even the building given by the government, how they want to use, that is decided by the government. We can see some of the pictures. It is given the children at the school in Soviet Russia, how they are sitting and learning, and the child in the Magnetos during the first 5-year plan, how the child they was working, and afterwards they are reaching to the school. And we can see the factory dining hall, the people they are sitting and having their food. And source C, you want to read dream and realities of the Soviet childhood in 1933. Means the after the at the end of the second 5-year plan or starting of the second 5-year plan, we can see what was the dream of the children as well as what was the reality. The next point, it is Stalinism and collectivism. Means the next leader after Lenin, that was Stalin. The period of the early planned economy was linked with the disaster of collectivism of agriculture. Means the Lenin time onwards, they started to think about the collectivism of in agriculture area, and that become disaster. And 1927-28, the towns of Soviet Russia were facing facing acute problem of grain supply. There was not enough grain because maximum people they went and started to work in factories. The government fixed the prices at which grains must be sold. And second problem, first one, the many people they went and joined in factory sector. Second one, the price fixed by government, people was not, peasants was not ready to give their things at the government price. Stalin was who headed the party for the after the death of Lenin, introduced the firm emergency measures. He started to take some steps to stop all these things, and he believed that rich peasants and traders in the countryside were holding stocks. Even though they are having stock, they are not ready to give to the shops like that. Who understood? The rich people, they are not ready to give like that. Stalin, he understood. And 1928, party members taunt the grain producing areas and supervising the enforce the grain collections and raiding the kulkas. Means the Stalin, when he understood the people they are keeping the grain in their granary, they are not ready to give to the into the public or to the shops. That time they made some people to supervise the producing area as well as they started to raid where they was collecting and keeping the grains. And the name of the well-to-do peasants, means they said in what name they done, they said like that we are going to do for the betterment of the peasants, they are going to help the peasants, like that they said. And as the shortage continued, the decision was taken to the collectivized farms. It was argued that the grain shortage were partially due to the small size of holding. Means the land was divided into small size to the peasants. That's why the shortage of food, like that. Who said? The Stalin and his people said. And what they done in after 1917? Why it is like that? The 1917, the land was hand over to the peasants. Small size in the hands of peasants, and that also not in even way. Some peasants got much, some peasants got very less. And to develop the modern farm, for that purpose, in the last sentence, and run them along industrial lines with a machinery, it was necessary to eliminate kulkas and that take away the land from the peasants and establish the state control large farms. Means the land was taken from the peasants. It was under the control of each and every peasants, that is taken by the government, and everything directly controlled by government. That was the first second reform by the first reform by Stalin. As the same time here making the reforms that is related with modern farming with machineries. He is encouraging the people to use different machineries. Then what followed was the Stalin collectivism program, and 1929 the party, they forced all the peasants to cultivate the collective farm. All the people, they want to work for the state. The bulk of the land and implement were transferred to the ownership of the collective farms. It was giving the community people was getting the ownership of land, that was controlled by government, and peasants worked to the on the land, and the Kulko's profit was shared among themselves. Means how much they are making, and what profit it is coming, that each and every peasants want to share it equally. Encourage the peasants, restricted authorities and the destroyed livestock. What they done, they restricting the authority peasants, restricted the authorities. Peasants don't have authority, and they destroy all the livestock. They can't keep any animals with them. That was the condition. And 1929 to 1931, number of cattle fell by 1/3. The number of cattle, it is reducing to 1/3. Means how much milk or meat what he was producing, that number it become less. Those who have restricted collectivization were severely punished. Those who are not ready to work in the collectivism method, they used to get punishment, and they was deported and exiled. They was sent outside, and they used to face the exile also. As they restricted collectivization, peasants argued that they were not rich and they were not against socialism. When they started to face the despotism and exile, and they started to say like that, we are not against the socialism, only thing we are not rich, we can't live with this policy that they are saying. And they merely did not want to work in collective farms of variety of reasons. They don't want to work what the Stalin said. Stalin's government allowed some independent cultivation. This when the people become against to Stalin, then Stalin given some of the land for the private cultivation or independent cultivation also, but treat such cultivators unsympathetically. They never get any privileges from the government. In that way they made them knowingly or unknowingly, or they are getting the situation like that, they want to go and join with the collective farming. And in spite of collectivization, production did not increase. Even though they made like that, production never increased. And editedly increase immediately. Now it means the production, it will take time to increase, and maximum land want to make use for that, and the people's work may not done properly, like that many things are there. But even though anyway, production never increase very fast. In fact, that bad harvest also, many years they faced the bad harvest for continuously 3 years. They got very less harvest also, and like the that was another one thing. And coming again, famines they faced like that. Near about 4 million people they died because of this policy of collectivism, collective farming there in Russia. So nowadays we can see, because of corona, many people they died, and many people they become sick like that. In the time of Stalin also, Russia people they faced famine, and many of them died. And the last paragraph, many within the party criticized the confession of the industrial production. They said like that maximum importance giving to the industry. First and second plant it kept for industry development also, and the consequence of collectivization and what they done in the collective farming, that also giving bad effect. And Stalin and his sympathizers charged this criticized with conspiracy against socialism. They said like that, the authority they said like that, those who are saying something against to this both thing, they said like that they are getting the punishment. They go, and accusation were made throughout the country, not only in one part, everywhere. And 1909 over 2 million were present or labor camp. Many people, means 2 million people, they become prisoners, or they came to the labor camp. Most were innocent of crime, but no one spoke for them. The people, though these 2 million people, in that many of them, or 95% of them was innocent. They never done any crime, only just criticize or just listen the criticism, that much only, and no one was not ready to speak for them. A large number were forced to make false confession under the torture, because they want to survive somehow. So what they done, they made the false confession in front of the rulers, and in that many talented professionals also was there, and teachers, engineers, like that, many good professionals also was there. And you want to read source D and source E also, then you will get understanding about what was the condition in the time of Stalin and Lenin, and both of these communist leaders, how they ruled USSR. And 1991 we can see the breaking of USSR into several countries, and now we can see USSR was not there, Russia and many several independent countries are there, Kazakhstan, like that, many countries like that. It is divided because of the collapse of socialism in Europe. Okay, by this we are stopping the class today.